Hello. I am very pleased that you have joined this Planner 101 Step Up Your Task Management in Office 365 session. Our agenda today is quite simple. After a basic introduction to Microsoft Planner, we will review a sample business scenario where Microsoft Planner is used to manage work tasks. Second, we'll cover how Microsoft Planner can be integrated with Microsoft Teams. Third, we'll look at how Planner processes may be automated using Microsoft Power Automate or Flow. Finally, we'll cover the basics of the Planner mobile apps for iOS and Android. My name is Heather Zigli, and I'm a manager in the Microsoft practice at EY, also known as Ernst & Young here in the United States. Currently, my focus is on collaboration and productivity with emphasis on governance, risk, security, compliance, and project management. I have been working in information technology for over 27 years. Although I started as a developer, I have also held positions in technical sales, security and compliance, and consulting. I have been working with Microsoft's collaboration tools since 2003 and have been heavily working with Microsoft Teams for the last 2.5 years. I was certified as a Microsoft Certified Solutions Expert, or MCSE, in productivity in 2017. I'm currently working on transitioning to the modern M365 certifications. To support the ongoing security and compliance concerns of our clients, I achieved my Certified Cloud Security Professional, or CCSP, in 2019. I'm also working on my CAPM certification due to my current emphasis on the project management discipline. But that's just part of the persona, right? We all have interests and skill outside the workplace. You can see some of mine on the slide. In addition to work, I like to travel. Ireland is a favorite. I like to spend time with the fur babies, or my cats, play music, and spend time conquering the forces of evil on my Xbox. These days, I spend most of my time on Overwatch and Destiny 2. Feel free to add me. My gamer tag is Xbox 360 Princess. So what is Microsoft Planner, and what can you do with it? Basically, it allows you to create new plans, assign tasks, and share files. It allows you to simplify teamwork and collaborate on your projects visually. You can chat with others about the work to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Last, it lets you keep track of your progress and stay on top of your tasks from any location, use any approved device. You might be asking, doesn't some of this overlap with Microsoft Teams, things like the chat and the document sharing? The answer is absolutely yes. The good news is this is not an either-or situation with Microsoft Planner and Teams. As we go through our example scenarios, you'll see how we combine the two for a better experience. Technically, there are at least 4 different tools you can use to track work using Office 365: Outlook, Project, Planner, and To Do. For this conversation, I'm going to exclude Outlook and discuss where each of the latter 3 apps, Project, Planner, and To Do, are appropriate. So we'll start with Microsoft Project. Whether you are using Project Online or the desktop application, Project is generally used for more complex projects. They typically require information such as dependencies, resource costs, with the goal of building a detailed project schedule that you can manage over time. Additionally, it is used to roll up multiple projects to view an entire portfolio simultaneously. Next, Microsoft Planner. Why we are all here today. Planner is a great solution for small and medium-sized efforts that have less formal project management requirements. In addition to being included with your Office 365 subscription, it can be integrated into Microsoft Teams and have its processes automating using Power Automate. Last, it has the benefit of a mobile app, which Project is not. This allows users to access information from anywhere at any time on any approved device. So where does Microsoft To Do fit in, you might wonder? Well, it bridges the gap between your professional life and your personal life, at home and in the community. It allows you to view them all in one app, including your planner tasks, your Outlook tasks, emails that you flagged in Outlook, and things you've actually set up in To Do. It also lets you share lists with family and friends and assign them tasks. You would do this using a consumer Microsoft account as opposed to your work or school account. For example, I have set up a Zigli household list in Microsoft To Do as a way for my husband and I to assign each other tasks and manage things, even things as simple as a grocery shopping list. And because it's available on our mobile phones, it's easy to add things as we think of them. I hope these talking points have provided a little bit of clarity regarding the use of Project, Planner, and To Do. If you still have questions, you can click the link at the bottom of the slide to access Microsoft's guidance in this area. For the rest of today's session, we'll be focusing on Microsoft Planner. Let's get started with our first example, content management. So we'll start at the very beginning, launching Microsoft Planner. We can do this in one of three ways. Directly from the Office app launcher, we might need to click All Apps to locate it in the list of applications. Second, we see the planner icon here on the homepage at office.com. And third, if you're a keyboard freak like I am, you might just type in tasks.office.com. If you're prompted for a login, use the username and password you use to Office other Office 365 apps, such as Outlook, Teams, or SharePoint. So now that we're here, we'll take a tour of the homepage, also known as the Planner Hub. Here you will see your plans with dedicated areas for favorites, for recent plans, as well as all plans. Also for convenience, you'll see a link to download the Planner mobile app at the left bottom navigation. If you click on this, you can have the option for that link to be sent to your phone via text or email. So now we'll navigate to our example scenario. I've set up a small team to manage content for an upcoming product launch for Product X. Besides myself, the team includes Elmer Fudd, our technical writer, and Jessica Rabbit, our sales engineer or product evangelist. Quick side note, I'm obviously a big fan of cartoons and animated feature films, hence the silly names. Alrighty, moving on. So we'll start by taking a tour of our IP or intellectual property development activities plan. By default, you can see our Kanban or task board with all of the assigned tasks. In addition to the board view, we also have a charts view and a schedules view. The charts view allows us to see our tasks grouped by status, by bucket, by priority, and by assigned user. Our schedule view allows us to see all of our activities within the context of a traditional calendar. So now we'll go back to our board view and walk through some of the basic concepts of Microsoft Planner. First, you create buckets to group your tasks in a logical manner. In this example, I've created a bucket for each stage of the content development process. First, there is an ideas bucket for potential IP content, a place where the team can put placeholders for suggested content that is not yet approved and assigned. Next, we have our not started bucket for items that have been approved and assigned, but not started as the name implies. Third, we have an in progress bucket for, as you might guess, work that has been started but not submitted for review and publication. Fourth, there is an under review bucket for completed work awaiting management review and approval. Last, there is an approved bucket for items that are completed, reviewed, and approved. Now that we've talked about buckets for grouping tasks, we'll move on to the tasks themselves. Let's examine the article task as an example. First, you'll notice that there is a circle next to the task name. If I check it, you will see that the progress is changed from in progress to completed. Next, you can see that this particular task is assigned to Elmer Fudd, our technical writer. If I determine that he needs some help with this article, I can easily add another team member, such as myself. Under the task assignment area, we see the basic task properties, the bucket in which the task is currently placed, the progress, either not started, in progress, or completed, the priority, which ranges from low to medium to important to urgent, and the start and due dates. Now, if you're wanting to use the schedule or traditional calendar view in Planner, make sure you put both a start date and due date in there to make sure that your tasks are represented as accurately as possible. Next, we can add some notes to the task for additional description of the work to be done. If you click Show on Card, the notes will be shown on the main board. This eliminates the need to open the task just to see that information. So we can see that here. Now, it should be noted that you can either show the notes on the main view or you can show the checklist items, but you can't show both. As you might imagine, we might want to track some larger tasks that have groups of smaller tasks or subtasks. We can accomplish this using the checklist feature of Planner. This allows us to specify the subtasks that need to be done. We can even check them off as they are completed. If you decide a checklist item needs to be its own separate task, you can click the up arrow to make it a separate task. And if we close out, we can actually see that this is made its own task. It should be noted that you cannot move these up and down, basically reordering them. If you need to reorder them, you'll have to delete the ones below and recreate your checklist. Next, you can add attachments. These can come from a file on your computer, a website link, or SharePoint. Since this planner site is attached to our Microsoft Teams team, we can see our channels for content development, general and technical announcements, news, and resources. Next, we have the ability to add comments to a task. This is an ideal place for a few reasons. Here are my top 3. First, we have the audit history with the task item. This can help answer questions in the future, as well as provide context to new team members. Second, it keeps the comments out of email. That is always a good thing. Third, even though Microsoft Teams is a great tool for chats and conversations, you might lose the conversation due to retention policies. Also, over a matter of days or weeks, all of those conversation points have been moved up as new conversations are occurring within the channel. Finally, you can use colored labels to further distinguish tasks visually. For this example, I used the colored labels to indicate what type of content was being developed: a formal article, a blog post, a sales deck, a white paper, support content, or internal communications. As you can see, I've labeled this article as a formal article. If I want to change it, I can uncheck what it is currently and check a new category. You should note that you can actually assign multiple categories to this item. After they're assigned, you can actually see the color labels on the main page. So far, we've looked at Microsoft Planner from the perspective of a plan manager. Next, we'll consider the perspective of the average user that has been assigned one or more tasks in our plan. We'll actually start in our technical writer's email inbox. This is most likely where Elmer will discover that he has new tasks assigned to him. As we can see in his inbox, he has 2 task notifications from Microsoft Planner. If we click Open in Microsoft Planner for one of the tasks, a new tab is open to our plan with the task open. Very handy feature. If we back out of this task, we're back at the plan's homepage, which we reviewed previously. Notice that on the left navigation menu, there is a My Tasks link. Here is where he will get his view of all open assigned tasks across all plans in Microsoft Planner. In the board view, we can see our task group by progress. We also have similar chart and schedule or calendar views that were available at the plan level. The last user-based feature we will look at is integrating our task into Microsoft Outlook. To do this, simply click the ellipsis at the top, click Add My Task to Outlook Calendar, click Publish, and then Add to Outlook. We'll be prompted to select a color and an icon or a charm and click Import. Once this is completed, we'll see notification at the bottom of the screen. As you can see, we now have the task items integrated into our Outlook calendar view. If we click on one, we can see our basic details, start and end dates, what it came from, and its status. If we expand, we have a link to open the task in Microsoft Planner. Just as before, a new tab is open to our plan with our task open in a pop-up window. For the last part of our business scenario example, we'll cover a few additional tips. First, we'll see what happens when another user updates a task while we are not working in Planner. For this scenario, I've had our operations manager add himself to our technical white paper development task and add a comment. When I log back in as my main account, I should see a notification that the task has changed with the color of the task highlighted in gray. So we can see here, we have a while you were away note, changes were made to one task, and then we see the task that was changed highlighted in gray. Super simple. Our final 4 tips are related to viewing and managing tasks in our Kanban board view. First, we'll start with how tasks are ordered or sorted within a bucket. By default, they are added vertically as new tasks are created. However, if you want to change the vertical positioning, simply drag your task to its desired location in the bucket. This can help keep priority items at the top. For example, if I wanted to make my formal article the priority, I can simply drag it up and it has a new location. Second, we can change how tasks are grouped on the board. By default, we can see that they are grouped by bucket. We also have the option to group them by assigned to, and we see them by user. We can also group by progress to see not started, in progress, and completed. We can view by due date. We can view by labels, and we can view by priority. This gives us lots of ways to look at our workload. Third, we can filter items to view only items that meet a certain criteria. These criteria may be based on due date, priority, label, bucket, or assigned to. For example, if I want to see only tasks that are late or behind schedule, I could click on the late filter under due. This brings up my support content product user manual item. Also note that the due date on my task is highlighted in a bright red so that I can't miss its overdue status. Now I'll clear the filter. Our fourth and final tip is how to move a task to a different bucket. Earlier I showed you how to update the bucket property on the task details pop-up form, as shown here. If the only information we needed to change was the bucket, it would be very easy to simply drag it to our new bucket. When we click on it, we'll see that the bucket has been changed to under review. Next, we'll review adding a new plan as a tab in a Microsoft Teams channel. From our IP development team within Microsoft Teams, we'll add a tab to show our plan. We'll navigate to our content development channel, click the plus sign, and select Planner. Because we already have a plan associated with the team, we have two options. We can create a new plan or use an existing plan. To add the existing plan, I'll simply select it from the drop-down box, leave the default option to post to the channel, and save. Now we can see our planner plan within the context of our team. There are a few differences in the user experience when we access this plan from Teams. First, we lose our planner hub. This means we can't navigate to other plans or view the My Task page. However, we can click on the website icon and it will open the planner in its full website in a separate tab. Second, because of the Teams navigation on the left, we have less screen real estate available to view our plan. As such, we might need to scroll left and right to view all of our buckets. To reduce this impact, we can simply click the Expand tab option at the top right. This will remove most of navigation from Microsoft Teams. Last, on a positive note, we have an extra feature within the context of Microsoft Teams. We have a tab conversation for our Planner tab. It allows team members to have focused conversations about a particular tab. So we can see here, we can type in questions related to this particular tab. Last, we'll see how adding a user to the Microsoft Teams team also adds the user to our plan, and vice versa. For team-based work plans, where we want the membership to match between the team and the plan, we only have to add a user once. Basically, it's an Office 365 group. First, we're going to add our operations manager, Bugs Bunny, to our IP development team. So we can see currently we have one owner and two guests in our team. If I look over here, we have the same membership. We have 3 people. So from our team, I'm going to add Bugs Bunny. We'll select him from the list and click Add. We can now see that my team has 4 members. If I refresh my planner page, I can now see that Bugs Bunny has been added to my list of plan members. This also works in the reverse. So I'm going to remove Bugs Bunny here. So we're back to our original 3 members. I will refresh Teams. And I can now see that we're back to 3 members in the team as well. 1 owner, 2 members, and guests. So now we'll actually add bugs from the Microsoft Planner side. So now you can see that we've had Bugs Bunny added to our Planner plan. If I refresh Microsoft Teams, I can see that Bugs is now part of my team as well as a member. The reason this works this way is because I created the plan as a tab in Teams. So it uses the same Office 365 group for managing membership. So what happens if I want to plan with different members? Maybe not everybody from my team is participating in the work. Also, I may not want plan members having access to my entire team in Microsoft Teams. Whatever the case, I can make this happen by simply creating my plan from within Planner. So in this case, I wouldn't add to an existing Office 365 group. I would create a new plan with a new group membership. When I do this, the group membership is completely separate from any Microsoft Teams group. Next, we'll look at how to automate the flow of information into Microsoft Planner as well as out of Microsoft Planner. So if you're not familiar with Microsoft Power Automate or Flow, it's Microsoft's workflow automation solution within Office 365. Power Automate workflows may be initiated in one of four ways: automated flows, which are triggered by an event; instant flows, which are manual on demand; scheduled flows, which recur on a regular basis by a schedule that you designate; a UI or RPA flow, which is robotic process automation; and last, a business process flow, which is a standard process automation that has defined stages and steps, including stage gates. For today's discussion, we're really going to focus on the automated flows, so triggering things via Microsoft Planner. You can trigger an automated flow from Planner through one of three events: when somebody creates a new task in the plan, when a task is assigned to you, the active user, or 3, a task is completed. The other half of Power Automate is the actions. Once an event is triggered, you set different steps and different actions within those steps to occur. Currently, there are 14 actions you can take within Power Automate that are related to Microsoft Planner. You can see them here. So we can list tasks, update tasks, list our current logged in user tasks. We also see that there's an updated task version 2. Microsoft often has a V2 of workflows, so they can introduce new functionality without breaking existing workflows in Power Automate. And then last, in the lower right, I like to point out that you can also set up a workflow action to sync messages from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center to a Planner plan. So if there are updates coming to Office 365, Microsoft 365, you can actually have those added as tasks into a plan that you might have for your Microsoft practices and operations within your organization. You're probably familiar with the phrase, "don't reinvent the wheel." This definitely applies here, as Microsoft and the Power Automate community have created many useful workflows that can be easily added to your tenant. So to find out our workflows are related to Microsoft Planner, we'll do a simple search from the Power Automate homepage. So we can see here all of the different pre-built workflows that can immediately be enabled in your tenant. I'll highlight a few of my favorites. First, it's the post messages to Microsoft Teams when a new task is created in Planner. This is very helpful in that if our goal is to have Microsoft Teams be the center of team activity and teamwork and team tasks, this is one more way to get it in the team channel where everybody sees it as opposed to an individual's inbox. Second, we can post a daily message to Microsoft Teams with Planner tasks due the next day. So this is a great feature for those of us that do project management work, as it eliminates our need to send what I call nagograms to remind people of tasks that are overdue or about to be due. And then last, we also have a task to review new documents in SharePoint. So in the case of our content development example, we had a document library for uploading documents for intellectual property, for our marketing materials, for our white papers, for our articles for newspapers. We can actually have a task set up so that every time a document is uploaded in that particular folder, it is automatically has a task created in Planner for someone to review that in the under review bucket. So lots of great ways to apply this. I will also note that one of the best uses of Power Automate can be making different non-Microsoft systems talk to Microsoft Planner. I've been in situations where I've had to use Asana or Jira or other tools, and one of the nice things you can do is actually set up a synchronization or a copy so that you've got communications in duplicate systems if you need to maintain that because maybe your client uses a different tool or maybe you use a different tool. So definitely take a look through these. Once again, you just go to flow.microsoft.com and then type in Microsoft Planner for your search query. Next, we'll look at a custom flow that I built myself. Currently, I spend a lot of time consulting with clients regarding governance of various Office 365 applications. As I mentioned previously, a Microsoft team, which is essentially an Office 365 group, can have multiple plans associated with it. In addition to the IP development activities plan we looked at previously, I have added 2 additional plans using our IP development team as a group. The additional plans are called Technical Research and Holiday Party Planning 2020. I like to think happy thoughts that Perhaps by the end of this year, I might be able to celebrate the holidays in person with some of my colleagues. As the team or group owner, I would like to stay on top of what plans are being created for my team, to make sure that I understand the work that's being managed, to make sure we don't have duplicate plans, and make sure that everything is organized. Fortunately, there's an easy way to automate this process. If you recall, one of our actions in Power Automate was to list plans for a group. It is this action that I will use to have a list of group plans emailed to me every Monday. So let's walk through each step of my custom workflow. First, we have the recurrence. It's set on a schedule every Monday. Second, we've set up a variable called group plans to hold the list items, HTML list items for an unordered list, the content that will go into my email body. Next, we request the data from Microsoft Planner. So I've already passed it my IP development Office 365 group or team name. And then for each plan that's returned from this, I'm going to add it to the variable that I initialized up here. You'll note that I have the list item and closed list item brackets for my HTML formatting. Last, I have send an email notification. So I have the to filled in, subject, CC line to our operations manager, and then the body of our email actually has a little bit of HTML formatting to make sure that we include our unordered list, and it shows the current inventory of plans for the IP development team are shown below. Now that we walked through the workflow steps, let's see it in action. To do this, we'll simply click Test. I'll perform the trigger action and test. Run flow. So I'm going to click Done, and this should take me to the Flows Run page. Fortunately, I have all these nice green checkboxes indicating that my flow has completed successfully. If I go to my Outlook inbox, I should have an email waiting for me with the results of my query. So as you can see, I now have an email sent to me with the 3 plan names that we have. So this is just one way that you could automate understanding what's being created within Office 365 related to your Office 365 group or Microsoft team. Obviously, this is a fairly basic use case scenario. My objective for this Power Automate section for Planner was to help you understand the following: what Planner events can trigger a workflow, how to find the pre-built workflows in Power Automate, what 14 actions are available for Microsoft Planner in Power Automate, and using the simple custom workflow example to help you understand really how few steps are required to automate Planner-related processes. Most of all, I hope I have given you technical food for thought so that you come up with your own creative solutions to your business problems. The last main topic for today is the Planner mobile app, available for your tablet or phone. To get an email or text with a link to the mobile app, simply click Get the Planner app at the bottom of your Planner webpage. You can also find it in the App Store for your Android or iOS device. It is important to know that you must sign in with your work or school email account for Office 365. You cannot use a consumer email address such as Gmail, Outlook, Hotmail, or Yahoo to access Microsoft Planner. If you want to manage personal tasks, try Microsoft's To-Do app. Last, the requirements are pretty simple for the mobile app. For Android, you must have version 5.0 and up. For iOS, 9.0 and up. And although it will work on your iPod Touch, you'll have your best experience on your iPhone and your iPad. Next, there are a couple of considerations when using the Planner mobile app. You cannot delete a plan from the mobile app. You must use the web browser to do that. Second, one benefit of using the mobile app is you can add a photo taken with your device's camera to your plan. Simply add it as an attachment to your task. There are some permissions required that you must accept in order to use the mobile app. These are listed on the right-hand side in the table. Most of them are for Android. Resources to additional information on these permissions will be provided at the end of this slide deck. So now we'll look at the Microsoft Planner mobile app on my iPhone. You can see that I am immediately taken into the Planner hub. By default, I will see my favorite plans, my recent plans. I can also click See All Plans. If I want to favorite the Holiday Party Planning 2020 plan, I simply click the star, and it will show up on my favorites next time I use the app or the website. If I go back into our favorite plan, IP Development Activities, we can actually see the same buckets and the same tasks that we saw from our web browser experience. We have ideas, not started, in progress, under review, and approved. We also have the option to add a new bucket. If we don't want to look at our tasks by bucket, we have similar options to look at them by assigned to, progress, due date, labels, or priority. I can also look at tasks assigned to me. All of them are started, so they show up in the in progress section. I can actually edit a task. If I want to go into the checklist, I simply check it off and it's updated. Super simple. If I go back into my activities, I can look at the charts. I can see similar charts that I had in the web browser experience. I can see project status. I can see tasks by bucket. I can also see tasks by who they're assigned to. We can also see that overdue task in red. The demonstration of the Planner mobile app was our last main topic for today's session. Before we go, I'd like to review the key points we discussed. We looked at Planner plans, how to create them from either Planner or Microsoft Teams. We looked at creating, viewing, editing, moving, and reordering tasks. We reviewed how to group and filter tasks within a plan. We explored adding Planner tasks to the Outlook calendar view so we have a holistic view of all of our work. We also looked at how to modify our plan membership, either from Microsoft Planner or from Microsoft Teams. Next, we looked at how to integrate Planner with other Office 365 apps. We integrated it within a Microsoft Teams team. We also used Power Automate to build custom workflows and to streamline plan-related tasks. Last, we looked at the user experience of the Planner mobile app and discussed how it differs from the web browser experience. Last, I've included 7 resources that will be helpful as you continue exploring Microsoft Planner and how it can help you manage your tasks and activities. So we'll quickly walk through each of these 7 resources. First, the URL for the main Planner website. We've been there already, so we'll move on. Second, we have the Microsoft Planner Help and Learning Center. As you can see, there are several sections that have additional information to get you up and running. If you're a visual person, there's a resource for Microsoft Planner video training. Next, we have our apps and integrations. You can learn how to use Planner with Teams, Outlook, on your mobile phone, and more scenarios. Next is the resource for Android help, followed by a resource page for iOS help. And then last but not least, the very important Microsoft 365 roadmap page. This is a great site to keep up to date on what's going on with your favorite Office 365 products. As you can see in my search query, I've used Planner to filter out my results, and I can actually see new features that are coming up for Microsoft Planner. Be sure to check this out on a regular basis so that you're aware of upcoming changes to Office 365. Finally, thank you very much for attending this session. Although it wasn't a full hour, we covered a great deal of content related to Microsoft Planner and related Office 365 task management capabilities. I sincerely appreciate the time you invested to learn about one of Microsoft's newer applications. Thank you again. Be sure to check out additional sessions in the All Access Pass from Collab 365 and GlobalCon 2. Have a great day.